That's a really good question, and it's been an incredibly exciting journey. I think back to the first generation. Generation 1 of Formula E was simply proving you could race electric vehicles, and in that first 4 years, Formula E established itself very quickly as being this incredible, exciting championship which produced great racing, but also was a real showcase for the technology. Generation 2, from Generation 1, we used to have 2 cars per driver. The driver would change car halfway through the race. Generation 2 went to a longer race with more power and a single car. So that was a big step change. And that was a step forward in the battery technology. It was a step forward in the powertrain technology. So basically, more efficient powertrains, getting more out of the battery. So that was a big step change. So the cars went up to 250 kilowatts, the weight came down, and that was an incredible generation. The Generation 2 of Formula E, I think, then established Formula E as a true world championship, one which is the pinnacle of electric racing, with the most talented driver lineup, I believe, in the world of any motorsport, because every single driver is fully professional in Formula E. No one brings any money to race. You have incredible manufacturers and incredible teams. You have this amazing lineup of drivers, teams, manufacturers, and Generation 2 established that. Now Gen 3 is an all-new era. We go from 250 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts. We have 4-wheel regen, 600 kilowatt regen. It means that 40% of the energy we use in the race comes from the car itself. It produces 40% of the energy itself through regen. That's a big step forward for any electric car, let alone a racing car. So that's an amazing step forward for the technology. And we now have a car which is more challenging for the drivers to drive, more powerful. We don't have traction control. We have the driver's connection to the accelerator is what defines that really, really kind of key. The drivers have a very important role to play in optimizing the performance, like any category, but even more so in Formula E. We have this challenge of this incredible tyre, which is a sustainable tyre. We use one tyre for all conditions. So again, the cars are more powerful, but we don't put even more grip to the cars. It's about driver kind of ability now that really comes to the fore. So an incredible opportunity. This is also the most sustainable racing car ever before. So we're kind of pushing the boundaries in all these eras. So this Gen 3 era, we're in the first year of it. And I think the next 4 years look incredibly exciting. And if I look beyond that, you simply see the world changing, right? And as the world adopts electric mobility, the future of Formula E, I think, is incredibly exciting. The core ingredient of Formula E being exclusively all electric. No other world championship will be electric. And that means I think our future is incredibly exciting. As the world changes and shifts towards electric mobility, I think we'll see Formula E becoming, it is already the fastest form of growing motorsport in the world. I think we will see Formula E becoming an incredible sport with even more global presence over the next 5-10 years. It's a question we get asked a lot, and we really, personally, I really admire Formula E. They're a giant. They're phenomenal. It's a phenomenal sport, and it's just something we're all passionate about. Formula E, if you look at it, we're only 8 years old, so we're a startup, right, in a tech company and speak. But the reality is, you look at the core ingredients and what is happening in the world. So in many countries beyond 2030, you can't sell an internal combustion engine car. So I think if we look at the future, I think Formula E has all the potential to be the size of Formula 1 in the future, absolutely. But time will tell. But what we do have in Formula E is an incredibly compelling set of ingredients. As the pinnacle all-electric world championship and the exclusive world championship for electric cars means that is something which I think stands as a very good stead for the future. So what's so exciting about our partnership with TCS is that we have this incredible company, TCS is our title partner, and everything they're capable of here. We're here at the Hyderabad facility, an incredible campus with amazingly talented individuals, and we have the ability to tap into that knowledge and that understanding, especially in the digital space, to allow us as a team to contribute. And if we look to where we're focused on working with TCS around digital twinning, if I use that as an example. Digital twinning means we basically twin the physical car in the digital world. And Formula E is unique. We don't race the traditional racing circuits, right? We race in the heart of city centre. So here in Hyderabad, there's never been a motor race for Formula E. So now we have to come, and we have to, when we hit the first practice session in qualifying, we have to be at the top of our game. So because we can't come and practice any time of year, we have to practice in the digital world. And we see that. And therefore, Mitch and the team, we work together to make the digital model of this car as accurate as possible for the real car. Everything, from the powertrain to the tyres to the tarmac, all these things are really modelled carefully. So that when we do laps in the simulator, it's accurate from a performance point of view, an energy point of view. The more accurate the digital twinning is, the better we can prepare. So that's where the power and the capability of TCS is going to enable us as we go forward in the future, particularly in this area. And it's something we're incredibly excited about. When Mitch gets into his real car and drives up the pit lane, that should feel and the car should work in the same way as it does in the simulator. And that's the kind of holy grail we're all working for. And it's a very important part of motorsport, but even more important in Formula E because we race in the heart of city centres. So it's really impressive. If you haven't raced here before, you'll learn some things as you come into Sweden, without a doubt. You can prepare as best you can, but you also have to be adaptable when you discover things. What we have seen is a track which has a really kind of interesting combination of corners. It has some really fast sections. We have an incredibly long straight here as well, so the top speed of the car is going to be incredibly high. And we have what we call a lot of combined entries here. So corners where, on the approach to the corner, the drivers are having to turn and brake and reset. So they're doing three things, which is incredibly complex to execute really well. So if you look at ultimate qualifying performance, the complexity of the track and the technical nature from the track point of view is going to be a real challenge for the drivers. But the good news for fans, when you have a track like that, it means you see more action. So that's going to be an exciting one for the fans. Again, things like the asphalt, the temperature will be a big thing for us. It looks like it's going to be 35 degrees Celsius, which means then we have to manage things like the tire temperature, the powertrain, the battery temperature carefully to kind of make sure that we're not kind of going critical or anything there. So it gives us an added layer of complexity that we have to be on top of. So fan booths we used to have in Formula E, and this year we don't actually have it anymore. It was with the championship for the first 8 years. And honestly speaking, I think it was a fantastic addition. But at the end, we run its course, right? So it served its purpose at the time. But now we have a new generation of Formula E with, in the future, pit stops to fast charge and attack mode. We didn't need that. But for the first 8 years, it was a great way of integrating fans into the experience of the race, giving fans the opportunity to vote for their favourite driver. Was something which created the interaction with fans that was enjoyed. But as we come into this new era, we think the car and the sport has so much happening that we didn't need any more complexity. Yes, I'm really fortunate that I get to enjoy all of our products at Jaguar Land Rover. So I get to enjoy a myriad. I drive everything from Jaguar I-Pace to a Jaguar F-Type, and I get to enjoy all of our products. So I'm really fortunate. I work for an incredible company running the racing team, but also within the Jaguar Land Rover world, and we have some incredible road cars. So I'm really lucky I get to experience some of the best cars in the world. So this is a real-world test bed for future technology we see in our road cars, and there's many aspects. Honestly, if I talk about the powertrain technology in terms of the design of the hardware, how we design the electric motor, the inverter, these are all interesting areas that are for the future of our future production vehicles. I'll use one example. The whole software side, what we do with TCS in the software space, is very relevant for the future of production vehicles. Why? Because every race we update the software to make the car faster. And that's a good example that in future, a bit like our telephones, we will update the software and they get better, they perform better. And that's where the benefit of having a company like TCS behind the team really helps. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I'll use an example. In 2017, we started working with a company called Wolfspeed that makes silicon carbide. It's a material we use in the inverter. Basically, it makes the car more efficient. And last year we announced that in the future, every future Jaguar Land Rover car will use silicon carbide technology from Wolfspeed. So it's a perfect example of we've tried that technology here to win in a very competitive world championship. Every marginal gain is critical. We proved the technology could help us win races, and now our future customers will benefit from that technology in their road cars, making their road cars more efficient. So it's a great example of what we call our race to road philosophy coming true to life. We're here to promote our incredible company Jaguar and our racing partners like TCS. But at the heart of it, we're also developing technology together. Technology which makes our consumers have an even better product together.
Nice talking to you.
Likewise.
All the best for the weekend. See you around.
Thanks so much.